Tan 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 tan
And action! Another exciting episode of That's It Podcast. My name is Kalenda, also known as K Plus, also known as the Podfather. And it's That's It Podcast. And of course, brought to you by Brothers Mocktails, 4 exciting flavors that we talk about every week. That's the Mojito. I think, Gob, I don't know if you saw those comments. I don't know if you saw the comments on YouTube last week and somebody saying, I think it's called Dr. Something on YouTube. He comments saying, guys, this is embarrassing. It's not pronounced mojito. It's mojito.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you saw that one.
Yes, I saw that one.
He missed the joke. So, and I think for anybody who takes us seriously whenever we say mojito, it's because people have made that mistake so many times on the podcast. And we've sort of made it a running joke. So when we say mojito, it's not that we don't know that it's mojito. No. So that's the reasoning there. So we've got the mojito, now known as the mojito. What do we have else? The pina colada. We have Cosmo and strawberry lime crisp. Having said that, I need to apologize for Elson. How many days have we been planning this episode for now? Your mic is working, Cobb.
Since last week?
And now it's not. What have you done? Oh, there we go. Okay, cool.
Since Saturday last week.
Coach,
Big man.
Elson can be a bit of a problem. So we started planning this episode last week. We postponed to, I think we agreed on Sunday, then we pushed it to today, right?
Yeah, Sunday then today.
And in the morning, I even asked, are we all okay with today 15 hours? I got blue ticks in our WhatsApp group. 15 hours comes when we were supposed to have you on the podcast. What do we get? Monze. The mofo couldn't even have the courtesy to let me know that he won't be around. He just texts at the time we're supposed to be recording saying I'm out of town. But anywho, the show must go on. So here we are today with a man who's popular on Facebook for supporting a lot of things that women would love to hear and things that a lot of men do not like hearing. Our guest today is, should I call you Facebook famous or just famous? You're known in many circles for so many different things.
Just, I think the famous one is Coach Franklin.
Coach Franklin.
Yeah.
All right. So you were 2 pages, Franklin Nkowani and Coach Franklin, right?
No, I only have one.
Franklin Nkowani, same
Franklin Nkowani, but I changed it. I just changed it. It used to be Coach Franklin, so now it's Franklin Nkowani. But the tag has remained Coach Franklin. Yeah.
You know, looking at your Facebook page, it's one of those where when you're scrolling through, the humor is so on point. And we'll be sharing some of these. I'll send you some of these to put up on the Facebook on the screen as we go. And before we even get to the humor, I think I'd love to talk about your past just a little bit. There's a post that caught my attention, one that you put up, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about being a street kid. You were saying, I was a street kid. I used to sleep in drainages. I used to eat from bins. I once lived in the orphanage. I lost both parents at a young age. I became a father and mother of my siblings at a very young age. I don't know how I survived this, but all my life I've seen Jesus. Can we talk about the street kid part and sleeping in drainages? What's that? How did you? Is this true? How did you find yourself there?
Yeah, it's actually true. So it's true. I think I shared it in detail way back. That was like 3 years ago, 3 years or 2.
Right.
3 years, 3 years, 3 years. Yeah, but I shared much about it in detail way back. So it's a true story. It's a true story. I'm coming from the street, being a street kid, the way I am today.
Right.
And I think that happened way back in 20. Can I remember? But I can't remember which year exactly. But it happens because I'm from Congo initially. Yeah. So my dad is from Congo. Then my mom is a Zambian. So basically, what happened and what led for me to start supporting women, it's a motivation that I got from that, especially for what I saw my mom going through.
Right.
Yeah, and stuff. So we used to live in Congo anyway. And then my dad became violent, He became very abusive. He used to abuse my mom a lot. Like he would beat my mom. Very bad.
And you guys would watch this?
Yeah, because I was... So one of those stuff like you are young, you can't defend. Once you defend, once you defend,
yeah.
So I grew up like that. I'm from that home. Very abusive, a broken home, as Zambians we call it.
Wait,
now.
this was happening in Congo?
Yeah, it was in Congo, and I was very young by then.
Okay.
Very young. So this situation really became bad, like really bad. So mom was like, if we stay here, I would die. And if I die, you guys won't have a future with your dad. Because looking at the kind of a man he is when you get... Because you used to smoke weed a lot, When you smoke weed, get drunk.
That gives weed a bad rep.
And then... and then situation would be really bad. Really bad. So there was a day, the dude was like, I'm going out for work, but when coming back, I shouldn't find anyone here. Once I find anyone here, I'm going to kill everybody. So that was the situation. It was around, I still remember it was around 14 somewhere then. So then mom was like, we don't need to stay here. But I've got some relatives in Zambia because his dad is from here. And all our relatives are in Zambia. So they was like, we need to run, but how we're going to run, I don't know. But we just need to be out of this place. And the only place that I can take you guys, which is safe, it is in Zambia. And I was like, anyway, let's see what will happen. So it was crazy. So we just packed our stuff. And then we started running. We started just walking anyhow without knowing where we are going. But mom had a direction, and she was really in a bad state, like really bad state of abuse, So, we started walking. We entered the bush. We started going, walking. Trust me, we walked like the whole night. We walked like the whole night. I'm a rivers. I don't even know.
Wait, which part of Congo was this?
We were in Kinshasa, yeah? Yeah, we were in Kinshasa, somewhere in Kinshasa. But I still remember, but I was young. So, but anyway, so we walked throughout the night, and then we went to my cousins. We reached in town, Congo in town in Lubumbashi, yeah? So, we went at my daddy's aunt. So, we lied, say we are just here for a visit, because if we said, no, we're running out from home because of whatever that is happening, she's definitely going to send us back. And when dad called, the aunt will say, no, these people are here, so can come on, get them. So, we just lied and say, we are here to visit. So we were there. We stayed there 3 days without eating. She never give us food.
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly same thing.
Wait, help me understand. Why wasn't your aunt giving any food?
I know she's just like that, She's just stingy like that. That was way back. I think 202.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 202 somewhere then. So it was bad, and then.
Oh wait, I'm still a bit stuck on the. You tell her you're visiting, so is this like? The kind of person that she is, like when people visit, she doesn't give them food. What's the story behind that?
She never had a good relationship with mom.
She didn't like your mom.
No.
Yeah, but at least you guys were related to her through your father.
Yeah.
Couldn't she at least feed that side of the family?
I don't know how that aunt is, or I don't know if she's still alive.
3 days, and you guys did not eat.
3 days. I think it went up to because we stayed there for a week. So trust me, we starved like for 7 days straight. And when I tell people about this, they think like I'm lying and stuff. No, I'm not lying.
Wait, you were living under her roof?
Of course.
Sleeping in a bedroom that she designated for you guys?
No, we were sleeping in the sitting room. And we stayed there for a week, and we were not given anything to eat.
How old were you?
I think I was young, 7 somewhere there. Like I was really
and the youngest amongst you was how old?
She was, I think, just some months. Yeah, she was just some months. But she used to breastfeed from mom, so I think she wouldn't like starve on.
Yeah, but I mean,
but it was bad.
What is it like? I've got half a heart. I can give you shelter, but I'm not going to feed you guys. Not even upon arrival or at
Literally
all.
nothing.
Whatever beef they had.
nothing.
What wrong did your mom do to these people?
No, I think my mom was she was a good person. Really good, but I didn't know if they just never liked her. But all in all, she was good.
Anyway.
Yeah, all in all, she was good.
Story. Wow.
So yeah, we stayed there for a week without giving her anything. So on the 7th day, the dad called the aunt. No, I'm looking for these people. And then anyway, my aunt had to reveal that these guys are here. So quickly, my mom sensed and told the aunt to say, okay, anyway, we'll be heading back tomorrow. Okay, we'll be heading back home tomorrow. So then the aunt communicated, so no, don't worry, these guys will be back. They'll be heading there tomorrow. Yeah, anyway, cool. So Mama made a plan. So she went at the police station to report whatever that was happening. Yeah, lucky enough, at the police station where she went, she found a Zambian guy, yeah? She found a Zambian guy from here, who is a police officer. I don't know what that dude was doing there, you know? But I think it was just for the grace of God. Like, God made that connection to happen. So mom started explaining the situation at home, whatever she was going through. So that Zambian guy assisted. So anyway, since you are a Zambian, give me your NRC. So mom gave him the NRC. So the dude made connection from there. Say, no, these people, they have to go back in Zambia because the situation here, how they're treated, is not nice. It's not good. This woman is ready, like she's finished, you understand? Like she's hurt. She's going through a lot and she might die. So from there, the guy was like, anyway, you can come and start sleeping at the police station for a meantime. Whilst I'm trying to make a plan to get you guys back in Zambia. Cool. We started sleep. We were given a space to stay at the police station. We used to sleep at the veranda. We slept there for 3 days at the veranda. Yeah?
Just outside.
Just outside. And then we were offered food, just like snacks, for 3 days. You know, what my mom wanted was just us to get back here. Yeah, for her to find a relative and stuff. So anyway, we were there for 3 days. That guy made some connections here and there. And then on the third day, the dude came. It's like, anyway.
Wait, which dude?
The same police officer.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the same police officer was trying to help mom for us to get here in Zambia. So, cool. The third day, the guy came. Oh, I've managed to source for some transport for you guys, and I've registered whatever, I don't know, whatever that we were talking with mom, because I was young to understand what was happening. So you guys will be heading back in Zambia. Cool. So, yeah. So, therefore, we were put on the bus from Congo to here, to Zambia. So that's when we came. But yeah, my mom never had a phone, so we literally like knew nobody here. We landed in Intercity in the night, you know. So in the night, you know, in Intercity you can just sleep anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there, like, maybe if you're waiting for a bus or something. So we were there for 3 days again in Intercity. And then my mom was trying to ask around where her relatives are, where her dad is, where her siblings are and stuff. So she started asking around. I don't know if they had to put up some posters here and there. And then the older brother to her dad, she managed to locate her through the posters that were circulating and stuff. And then that is when the grandpa came in Intercity. We were taken to his house in Garden compound there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just here after Shidulu. So we went there, we started staying, and then we were introduced to the family, but you know, this is sometimes Zambian families how they are. It was crazy anyway, it was crazy. Yeah, you know, we went there and then they started complaining, oh, there's no space here, there's no space, so we had to find
because I mean, you guys were like a full family.
Yeah, we're like a full family plus.
So there's your mom, you,
my elder sister, my younger brother. We're about 5.
That's a lot to take care of. Yeah, I mean,
you
wouldn't blame the families that were thinking to us about taking care of you guys. Yeah,
we were a lot,
but at least they fed you when you came to Zambia.
They did, because now it's family. Yeah,
I think Zambians are just. I don't want to discriminate or anything against Congolese people, but you see what I said last week about me having this dark filter image when I think of Congo.
No, but
I don't know. Every time I think of Congo, I think darkness.
No, they are good people.
It's just me.
But they are good people. I mean, I'm a good person. So regardless.
No, I've got many Congolese friends. Even David Stoney, that's a Congolese guy. I've got many Congolese friends. Very nice people. But the country as a whole, every time I think of Congo, I don't know, there's more darkness to it for me than light. But anyway, in Zambia, you were fed. Look at that story now.
We ate.
Exactly.
We ate. And then, we were treated well, to say. Well, we were welcomed. And then, now the biological dad to mom came through now. Used to stay in Chipata compound there. So he finally came, and was at send. He got us to his house, and I started staying there. Life was good. Life was good here and there, but my mom's situation was really bad due to beatings she used to collect from dad. Very bad, very bad. Because she was hate like everywhere. When my dad used to beat, he'll hit you with anything, provided it's nearby. He never used to care that this is a woman.
Hold that thought.
And this is what.
Is it that GBV is not taken seriously in Congo, or your mom just didn't report these things because she was too in love with this man?
No, but look at where we are and where the world is. I think it's different.
Okay. Well, no. Dude, if you look at... Okay, I don't know about Congo. Let me not speak for Congo. But I remember awareness about GBV in this country started a lot. Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, but we also need to look at how... Anyway, both my parents were not educated.
Okay, there's that as well.
There's
okay.
that.
All right,
so
cool.
it's very difficult for people that are not educated to report that such cases. And way back, I think they used to interpret if a man is beating a woman, I think it used to be normal.
Yeah.
So like it became a normal situation to mom, but at a certain point she has to realize that no, this is my life.
All of that stemming from the time when there was when GBV was a normal thing.
It was a normal thing. Way back.
What else was a normal thing? Remember, Gob, there was also property grabbing. Was just a normal thing. The man of the house dies and his relatives can just come and sweep the house clean and leave you guys with nothing.
Yeah.
I'm happy when a different time. What a time to be alive. There's so much education right now. Because I know no one in your lifetime after you is going to go through the same things that your parents went through. You know what I mean?
It's very impossible.
Yeah.
Very impossible.
You're being kept by your mom's family this time around.
So when we started living. So at a certain point, mom started trying to find a living now in Zambia because this is the place where she grew up from, where her relatives are. So she just wanted to start doing something for herself. So she started selling. We started selling. Of course, it's us who used to go in the field. Who sell rape. Not but we'd go in the field. So mom would pack vegetables. We'll go in the field selling. I don't know if you've...
Yeah.
And then you go to people's places, Chinese, like that was my lifestyle on a daily basis, like every day. And I used to go in the field barefooted, and then add a lot of lice, all over me, in the Fidashan.
In Pele,
I had that.
Scabies, lice.
I had that.
Look at you today.
A lot of them. Never impairing a shark for my cook from a private party, Shan. So
I know we laugh about this today. It wasn't funny then,
It was bad. When I look at myself way back, and then I started thinking, am I going to have a life? Like, will this situation come to an end? Because it became normal. So how I ended up in the street is life became tough at home, like really tough. Because at a certain point, mom had to move out. Yeah. So at a certain point, mom had to move out from my grandpa's place because we're alone at the end of the day. She was like, no, let me try to find a future for my kids. So she started renting a house, but life was really hard, like really hard. Then I started thinking to myself, like, am I going to go to school or something?
Wait, you started renting a house from the same vegetable money the money that you raised from the vegetables?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Business really picked up, eh?
It did, but we used to go. Besides that, we also used to go to do piecework. Yeah, my piecework. I don't know if you know them. You guys, you grew up from. You're educated.
Why do people assume
you grew up from different environment? But I'm coming from that environment where we'd go in there, would go ask for piecework. Come back on piecework. Then you're given money. If you're not given money, you'll be given food. Okay, if it's not food, you'll be given clothes. So we used to do a lot of piecework in Kabanana somewhere there.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, from that little money that mom used to make, she managed to rent a house. So we moved with her. So, but life became tough. At a certain point, she couldn't manage to feed all of us and give us a life that we really wanted. Remember, like we're just trying to adapt to this new environment called Zambia, without knowing anybody and stuff. So, that's when I feel, I'm not eating at home. Life is tough for my mother. And then,
right.
Let me just go in the street. I started living in the street. I started sleeping in drainages. That's where that story came from. Yeah, I became a street kid, like literally a street kid. I was there for some good months or a year plus to say.
Just on the streets.
Yeah, just on the street.
But When you got to the streets, was life any better than the home situation? Did it get any better than you imagined?
I think in the street, it
The
became
difference from home.
it became a little bit different because in the street sometimes you steal from people, like you steal food from people. Like
You were literally street kid.
Of course, I was literally a street kid. You sleep there, you eat there. But one thing that I never used to do is to abuse whatever these guys abuse, like Mabosti, Kishan, drinking, attacking people. But I never used to do that.
Oh, you're hiding that from us just to look good on camera right now.
No. I never used to do that. I think I had some conscience in me to say, I had some thoughts in me to say, nah, anyway. But one day life can change,
Yeah.
One day life can change, despite me being a street kid. But I think somehow God can make a way. But I don't know how, but I think God can make a way. So that was how I used to process stuff the time that I used to live in the street.
Wait. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to deal a little bit more about street kids.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The question that I have is, what kind of mental state are these people in the street really do have? Because we have seen situations of whereby you see people, they are taken to an orphanage, right? 2 days later, they go back to the street. So what is it that people go back to the street for? What is it which is there? What kind of life which is there? And even though I'm asking this question in the future, what made you decide to say, okay, I don't want to be in the street anymore, let me move out? I'm asking this because maybe there's a street kid out there who is in the street and they don't know what it is. And I think most of them, for me, I would think maybe they are there because it's easy to get drugs. But I want to know, what is it that keeps these kids to go back in the street, like back and forth, despite what other people effort will make? They take them to orphanages, they will still go back in there.
I think it's normal. They adapt that environment. It's a home for them. Like it was for me. Like that was a home. I think at some point, mom came back. I mean, she came to look for me in the street. She came, Franklin, let's go home. Even those things are hard at home.
She came to look for you after like that 1 year of you being away?
Some months. Like I was there for some 6 causes. Nice how do I feel like I'm Kurubafi.
No lie about Peter.
Now this is how I feel. So then, at a certain point, I said that bond. No, come back. But I just used to hear some rumors. Oh, your mom was in the market looking for you. So, like, it became a home, you get. Even if I go back home, I'm not going to find that comfortability that I'm looking for at home, the one that I usually have in the street. Like, I would play with my street kid friends, Would play, would have fun, would eat. Would eat from the beans, firafine, shanshan. And life is normal, you get. So the question that you asked earlier on, so street kids sometimes they don't really want to stay in the orphanage and stuff because the street is home for them. Just like most of the prisoners, those who have been there for a long period of time, if you try to take them back home, they always refuse to say, no, I'm not going to find the family that I have here in prison or the comfortability that I have in prison if you take me back home. So it's better you leave me here. So sometimes like that, of course, some it's because they're addicted to drugs. So it's easy for them to find drugs in the street.
But then, Franklin, you're saying what you were looking for on the streets was that comfort that you knew your home couldn't offer because there was extreme poverty in your home. And then you were looking for that one thing that could improve your life. But didn't you... Okay, maybe you were young, but in retrospect, don't you think maybe you could have made that pursuit a daily pursuit? You leave home, go into town looking for that thing and still come back home to your family at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You couldn't do that? Or do you think maybe... when I look back now, maybe I would have done that.
I never thought of that. But if it was me now, I would have thought about that.
It's a childishness as well.
Yeah.
Finding comfort in seeing other kids
Yeah.
on the streets having the same struggles as you.
Having the same struggles. So, but I think I saw a lot of stuff in the street. I saw a lot of stuff. The time that I was there, I think it's also one way that I don't know. It's also one way that God built my character from there, and built the passion that I have right now for the kids, the passion that I have for women, and stuff. Because in the street, I would see.
Be careful how you say passion you have for women.
I think because in the street, I would see young girls getting abused. You get. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No, it just sounded a bit like you're a womanizer. The passion I have for women, you know.
No. I'm not a womanizer. But
I think you should have phrased it in a way that the passion you have for looking out for women's rights and interests. Maybe.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. That passion that I have to look out for women. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And it goes back to you.
I saw a lot of girls getting abused, by
Right.
fellow street kids, but not also by fellow street kids, but just by normal people as well. So that they would come, grab the female street kid, have sex with them.
Who does that?
Damn, people do that.
No, like, I'm trying to understand. Is it like the older street kids, or is it just
No,
random?
Normal human beings, they take advantage of those girls in the street. I saw that the time that I used to live in the street. I saw that.
Like a normal man, tucked in, looking ordinary. He picks up a girl, street kid. He knows she's not gonna take him anywhere.
Of course.
He rapes her and just leaves her there.
Just like that. And life goes on. So that is the kind of lifestyle that I saw happening with my own
That's why I
eyes.
keep saying they should castrate these men.
It was bad.
Take away their pipes because they don't deserve them.
It was bad for like that, yeah. So yeah, but at a certain point now, where was I? I've even forgotten where I was explaining.
On the streets, and your mom would come searching for you. And
Yeah, but I would refuse. Sometimes
Yeah.
I would refuse and just let me be. Then she was like, no, let me just take you to school, even if it's a free school. We'll try and survive and see how God is going to help us. I know, so she just used to tell me good stuff, I know you're going to be a great person, You're the favorite child among all the kids that I have.
Yeah.
You're my favorite because I used to be mom's best friends, like really best friends. Wherever
Right.
she goes, I'm there. Whatever she's doing, I'm helping out. If she want to order stuff, it's me that used to go. Like, Ukoda misali, we used to order a lot of sugar cane and chunga back then. Way back.
Right.
Yeah, they're going to madimba ya misali kuchunga somewhere there. So yeah, but I would help her here, and that's why I became a favorite. So she would tell me, no, come back home, we'll survive. I would refuse. The street is good for me. It's like the situation, it was really bad. So at a certain point, she just came and grabbed me. That was like 1 year plus now in the street. She found me. Really dead. Ninkwata manga, ninkwatenda, shy. I was just like really dead. I think I've got a photo of me that I always populate on social media.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the one that I saw on this
I think-
post. Yeah.
That's the same one. So she took me to a community school somewhere there in is it Chipata compound? Yeah, at Wafano School. I don't know if you know it. Yeah, Wafano School. It's somewhere there, main way in Chipata compound. So I went there, first day in class, barefooted, really looking awkward, and then everybody in class just started laughing at me. Achimkuru class, way back those manners.
Yeah.
Achimkuru, so I felt bad.
Mubabe.
No, yeah, Mubab. Ndo chumkuru mklasi ya tuwafana mwa grade 1 wa chumkuru. So I felt bad. Like, no, this is not good. I felt humiliated. I really felt bad. So I left. 2 days of me being in class. I left. Went back in the street. So the situation was bad. And then grandpa just made a decision to say, I'm going to get him. You start staying with me. So the grandpa got me. I started living with my grandpa. We started living, mentoring me here and there, give me word of comfort, kachechi, sunshine and stuff. So I started seeing life like becoming normal a little bit, but he could never take me to school because it was limited on finances. And I was becoming a big boy now, So I made a plan to say, no, I can't continue life like this. So I need to take myself to school. I took myself to school. I used to fetch water for people in restaurant, people's homes.
That's Lusaka Town Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd fetch water for people like that. And then I started saving up money. Not until I took myself to one of the community school. That was in 2006, 2007, somewhere then. Yeah, so I went direct in grade 3 because I was already a big boy, I can't go to grade 1.
Yeah.
Number 1,
True.
Yeah, so I think through that, the same school I went to, God made a way from there, God made a way. The 3 month of me being in school, I think I was really concentrating. I knew how to read. And then I had this heavy tongue because the most language that I used to speak is French and Swahili. Remember?
Do you still speak those?
No. Yeah, a little bit,
Okay.
but not much.
Right.
Yeah, because coming from Congo. So I took time to adapt, to start speaking Nyanja, English, but I made sure that I concentrate. Like, let me concentrate. They always say education is the key to success. Could be my success is here. And my life is here. So God made a way. There was this white woman that came at that particular school. she was like, I'm looking for, she was looking for people to sponsor, like people she can take to an orphanage, to a good place. So, and then I was recommended, like, this boy is intelligent, this boy is intelligent. He came here like 3 months ago, but he's been beating everyone in class. He's been getting good grades. No, he's improving. His English is improving every day. He's got good manners. And then we tried like he was in grade 3. Let's try him to write a grade 4 test. And then if he pass, he's going to go to grade 4. So I cleared. I went to grade 4.
Wow.
So in the same way, like I changed from grade 3, grade 4 to grade 5, and to grade 6. So that white lady was impressed, She was really impressed, really impressed. So then I was privileged. Then I was one of the students or the pupils that she got start staying at that particular place. A very nice place. It was in Avondale. Avondale there. That's what she took me. A beautiful house. It was a good life. But at first my mom refused,
Why?
So like now these are Satanists. So like was Akuba. Then my grandpa was like, no. If this child is going to go into Satanism, blame me. But I want this child to get educated. I know we don't know much about these white people and stuff, but we also don't know what God is in for it. So let's just let him go. Let's let go of him. Let him go. But if these people are Satanism, hold me accountable for your child.
Right.
So it was like a bar to my mom and my grandpa. But anyway, I had to go. My mom was like, anyway, fine, let him go. I went, big man. That was my first time. Like we could have in a very good house. In a very good house where there's a very good setup, Mulesamba, like on a daily basis, you are eating from morning, you are eating breakfast, lunch, supper.
Wait, as a street kid, do you even think of bathing?
Why?
So like in a year, how many times would you bath?
I can't remember.
A year would go by, no bath.
Of course. But
It's just normal, like
I was bad. Like really bad. Because after the time that my grandpa got me from the street,
yeah.
In the compound where I used to live in Chipata compound, people started calling me Echo. Where you get? Wow. They would make fun of me. Like they used to call me King. That's the name that they gave me because like really bad, really bad. Means that kapena wenda your friend having singing that song at chapter pashkadinda manga something like that. So it was really bad. It was really bad. But anyway,
Yeah, kids can be cruel.
yeah. But it's life.
It is life.
Yeah. So I started living with that woman where at that orphanage that she took me to. Life became good. Started improving. She took me to school. She paid for everything. I attempted grade 7. I passed. I became number 3.
In grade 6?
Grade 7.
No, you wrote your grade 6. You attempted grade 7.
Yes.
In grade 6.
Yeah, in grade 6.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I wrote my grade 7 from Chainda Community School there. This is the same Chainda Basic School here.
Yeah.
And then I came out 3rd. They were entire school. Yeah. So she was impressed. Now I'm grade 8. Grade 8 I was at Arthur Wiener in Challenge. I went to grade 8.
Yeah.
From grade 8, and then at that particular school I came out number 5 in grade 9. And then I went to Nyumbayanga. So I completed my grade 12 at Nyumbayanga Secondary School. So then from there, life changed, Life changed. But my mom passed on when I was in grade 12. Yeah, so she died. She was, because of the same abuse she used to go through, so like she failed to maintain her health. So it got worse. And then we couldn't manage to take her to the hospital to get better treatment. We were broke, very poor. Because we're coming from families where the poor used to call you poor, So
Yeah.
So like it became bad. So how she died, she became bad. She became bad such that they never
Infections.
It was a mix of diseases. Like you literally mixed, but she tried to survive. She tried, but she just couldn't hold up. No, she died.
When did she die?
2016, when I was in my grade 12 now.
Just 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I was called. So there's a funeral at home, and who died? And then they had to lie to me. That's your elder sister who died. I was like, I don't know if it's my older sister.
Like that would make it any better.
Because they are afraid. Because I was
Oh,
approaching.
you were very close. You're closer to your mom than your older sister.
Yes.
So they thought it would be lighter if they mentioned your older sister.
Yeah. And then I was close.
Makes some sense, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was close to writing my exam, like 2 weeks my exams. So they were afraid, like, if they mention like it's my mom, I'm gonna get disturbed, you know. So like, okay, it's your elder sister. You are only allowed to go to the funeral.
After the exam.
No, not after exam. During the burial.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
that's when you buy, then get back to school. I was like, anyway, cool. I'll do that since it's we're here to take care of take care of the people at home. So if that's the case, you know, it happens. She's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Anyway, bagamba twasa kunganda ya marido. You know, and then for me they took me direct to the graveyard. And I know it's time for body viewing. So I only saw that it was my mom the time that I was doing body viewing.
What?
You know, so it was.
Like nobody even whispered to you saying, or you didn't hear from the cries, because I know Africans love mentioning names when you didn't pick up anything from the
Because
from the funeral procession.
No, because where I was staying, like it was a good place. And then the time that they took me that side, I was like I'm a VIP. You understand? So
You're coming from the Mayardis.
yeah. So then I had my own I had my own car. They're in the car for me to take me that side. So I had no
Right.
time to spend
So
at
straight
the funeral
to
house.
body viewing.
Yeah, literally nothing to do at the funeral house. Where I can get information to say, okay, I'm feeling one shani,
Yeah.
tapav. Literally nothing. Because I'm okay, let's go. We just park by the roadside, we pick up your siblings in the same car where you are, and then we go straight. Once Ngamashika Kudaku in Shanshan, you are going straight to school. You've got no time to waste. I was like, anyway, cool. So the same arrangement happened. During the body viewing, and that's like it was. It's my mom. It's my mom lying in the coffin, you know. And then
Yeah.
you just become confused. Like you can't cry, you can't do anything. But you know, just have to survive.
Somebody should have prepared you, man.
It was bad like that. And then now I had to look at my siblings, you know, because she used to take care of my siblings. She used to take care, and my sister had 2 kids. Yeah, so she used to take care of those 2 kids. And then it was bad. Now I started thinking, where will these kids going to go? How are they going to survive? Because if there's not to take care of them, they'll end up go back in the street again, just like I was, which is very bad. And they've got no one to redeem them. Like at least at my mom who would, you know, time to time should come looking for me, but these guys have no one. So I was in shock. But anyway, the funeral after fiance Fiapo Shanshan, I went back to school. I just had some few conversations with relatives. They're like, no, take care of your siblings while you're in school and stuff. I was like, anyway, cool. So I went back to school.
Sorry, what's the saying?
No, nigga.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to school, preparing my exams with a heavy heart, Bagam. Heavy heart. And then I was like, no, I have no option but to concentrate. Because again, if I mess up here, if I'm not going to get good grades, I'm going to kill those kids. I'm going to kill my siblings.
Right.
And they literally have no one right now. So I'm the parents, I'm their dad, I'm their mom, I'm their everything that they're looking up to. And moreover, I'm the only one that is at least educated at that particular time among them all. So let me do this. Yeah, I prepared for my exams. I wrote my exams in a very disturbance mood. But anyway, by the grace of God, I managed to clear. Yeah? I managed to clear. And then I was sent back home. You know? That lady that was taking care of
The
us
white
and
lady,
stuff,
yeah.
Then she had to travel back in the United States. You know, so we had lost connection. Me
So
and
you
her.
went back to the conditions you were running from.
Yeah, I went back now to take care of my siblings now. Because even the time that I was in school, they would call me. They're a big man. Here it's not safe. We're not good. No, we're not given food, you know? The same situation.
Wait, when your mom died, who did they move in with?
They moved in with my... What was that? The one that they were staying with. They went to my grandpa. Is it my grandpa? Yeah, my grandpa's place.
Right.
My grandpa's place. But now... Yeah, they went to my grandpa's place, but grandpa died as well. Yeah, later on, grandpa died.
As if the story wasn't bad enough already. It keeps getting worse.
Yeah. So yeah, along the way, grandpa died. I think just after a few months, the time that mom passed on, grandpa died as well. He was involved in a road accident. So now, and then the grandmother that we were staying with was like a step grandma, not really a biological grandma, but a step grandma. So she just, what has changed? The relatives changed. She just changed because there was no one that was really biologically connected to mom.
There was no blood there, yeah.
So it was bad. So the kids would make cold. Franklin, yes, it's bad. We're not eating. Sometimes it's 2 days. Need have to walk to my catapia, should they wear a sanga now? Now, they want some coffee and body.
People can be cruel, eh?
So, I want to go to me for some, and I'll be confused where I am. Like, no, I can't stay here while my siblings are going through such hell. Let me just go back.
Sounds like a boarding school game, eh?
It was.
Find that.
Yeah.
Very comparable.
Masanga game now at here. So I used to feel bad, I used to feel bad. Like, anyway, right now I'm only a common grade 12. Nobody can employ me. There's literally nothing that I can do. But in my capacity, whatever that I can do, I'm gonna do it to make sure these kids are okay. I came back on the street. Came back in the street. I went where they used to stay. I stayed there for a week. I stayed there for just monitor the situation. The situation was bad. Sometimes the people at home, they can't even talk to you. Your grandma can't even talk to you. The people that you used to be happy with, the time that your grandpa was around, the time that your mom was around, they just changed to something else. Now they can't even talk to you. They can't even treat you the way they used to treat you way back. So I noticed, and then it was bad. I ran away from home again. I went to stay with just strangers. Now there's a guy that I look alike with. So the wife used to call me, the wife from the same orphanage where I used to stay. That's where they used to work.
Oh,
so they used to live in Chunga somewhere there.
Right.
So I used to look like the husband. Not that but I look like the husband. Very much. So she was like, you look like my husband. Are you related? I was like, no, I'm not related. She was like, you should come home and meet him. So you will see what I'm talking about, that you guys are related. I was like, anyway, cool, I'll come through. So I went there. I just went there to visit anyway. She was like, just come here, just visit. Just have it there, then tomorrow you can go back home. I was like, anyway, cool, I'll come. I went there, it came home.
They adopt, not really adopt. They welcome you to their home just there and then.
Yeah, I stayed there for a day. That same day that she invited me, the husband came, we met, and we actually look alike, We're like, we're coming from the same family and stuff. So we started relating. Nagonako one day I'm gonna 2 days because I was just afraid going back to that situation. That situation is crazy. So one day became a 2 day, 3 days, 4 days, became a week, a month. So I became part of the family. So at a certain point, they had to start me down. It's like, why aren't you going? Why aren't you going? It's like, that's how I'm
Okay, dude, you've overstayed your welcome now.
Exactly, yeah.
The chameleon bag is moving a little too fast.
So, where I'm coming from, the situation is like this. It's really bad. It's really bad. I was like, because you work at the orphanage where I used to stay, yeah? So the situation. I've been explaining. So me staying, I think I'm feeling a little bit safe, and I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to be a better person. I'm trying just to find something that I can do. So if I can stay with you guys, I think I'll become a good person. So, but yeah, they're like, anyway, fine. This is your family. This is your place. You can stay as long as you want, so that you find your way out. So now I made a call to my siblings to say, you guys just be there for a while. I'm trying to make a life here, and then I'll come and get you once. Balance. Even though you're going through stuff, just survive. Just adapt to the situation for now. But I know God is going to make a way.
Wall is eating T-bone. Just survive.
Of course. Just survive.
Yeah, what's that famous saying again? You can't help the poor if you're one of them. Yeah. So in that situation, you have to get yourself out.
Of course.
Enjoy some comforts for a little while you sort things out. Then you come back for them.
Then I'll come back.
That's a very heroic move. Yeah. I applaud you for that, actually.
So that's a move I made.
Yeah.
I stayed there for a year, 2016, 2017.
Right.
I was still with them those, even though at some point I felt like I was too much, because they also had the family. You understand? They had the family, they had kids, But I also felt like I'm adding up their burden, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes I'd ask, and then I bando. Yeah, and then I pay haircut, to my clothes to up, but I never used to bother for clothes. Yeah. But I would ask them to my basic things, yeah?
Right.
So, but I felt like I'm becoming a burden to them. So like, so as I started praying at that particular. There's a mountain there in Chunga.
The Black Mountain?
No. In Chunga,
not
there,
the Black
in
Mountain.
Matero.
Oh, in Matero, okay.
Yeah. There's a mountain there. So I would go there like every morning at 05. I go there, I'll be praying at the mountain. I'll be praying at the mountain. Snow's, I'll be praying at the mountain.
Right.
So through that, and then that lady that I lost connection with, that white lady, I inboxed her, I was looking for her name on Facebook, and then I inboxed her. Lucky enough, God willing, she responded. She's like, Franklin, where have you been? I was like, I've been around. What do you mean, where have you been? She was like, I've been looking for you. You've been looking for me. Whom have you been asking about me? I've been asking people that used to work at that orphanage. Yeah, they've been telling me about you, whereabouts. Where are you? Like, I'm around. Where? Around where? I'm in Lusaka. Are you in school? I was like, no, I'm not in school. What has delayed you to be in school? Like, you know my situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% orphan. I literally have no one to help me out. Have you been applying? I was like, no, I haven't been. I've never even thought of that. Because I've got no one to take me to school, yeah? So, like, anyway, find the school and let me know.
But wait, Franklin, in grade 3, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
you managed to pay your way through school by doing, like you mentioned, piecework.
Yes, piecework.
But why didn't that mentality come back when it was time to go to college?
I think, and then to the home where I was.
Because now you're older.
Yeah.
You have a level of education up to grade 12. You're stronger. You are more able to move around, and with your ability to speak, you're able to actually do more than you could when you were in
I
third
couldn't
grade.
speak at that point.
No, like in grade 12.
Oh yeah, but
After grade 12, sorry. You were able to do, you had a grade 12 certificate.
now I was looking for. I think in that level I was looking for a decent job fida. And as much I was struggling. But
So
I
it was pride that came in on
No,
you
not
after
really.
grade 12.
Not really pride.
No, because I'm failing to understand. How did you in grade 3 manage to get a job? Well, manage to find piecework on the streets to pay your way through grade 3. But after grade 12, that mentality didn't come back. You wanted to be kept and asking for talk time in that home.
Of course, but
Yeah.
the environment again where I was. I think the environment where I was and where I came from, it was a different environment. Because again,
Explain.
if I tried to say, because if I tried to say, let me go back to where I was to start doing some pieceworks again, it was going to be a little bit awkward. I was afraid to start getting comfortable again in the state.
No, but my point is, when was this? 2016, 17?
2016, actually, 2016, 17.
We still had internet cafes I could employ a person with grade 12 certificate. We had restaurants. We had so many small businesses in town center that could have employed you. Why did you make the effort?
I never thought of that because remember, like I was living in the orphanage, yeah, and then all my life was there.
So
All
you
my
became sort of institutionalized. You were conditioned to think a certain way.
Exactly. So like my whole life was there. So the time that I came out from the orphanage,
You had already been too conditioned to think outside the box.
yeah, like where am I going to start from again? Where am I going to start from?
Okay.
So that was like,
You put it that way.
yeah, where am I going to start from? I literally, the only people that I know right now are those my poor siblings and the people that I'm living with here. So, but I used to tell the people that I used to stay with. I call them my parents now because they're still in my life even at the moment. So, but I'll tell them, at least find something for me to be doing at that particular moment, so I can try to find my way out. Yeah, they would offer, no, just wait in case a door for you to go to university to open up. Then, yeah, but I used to stay like that.
So did the American lady come and pay for your college,
She
university?
did.
Okay.
She did. She told me when I found the school, I went to do teaching in Kabwe. It was just like in a rush because I was trying to find my own comfort now. Like I just need to start living by myself now.
So you're looking for that profession that gives you a job real quick and teaching,
Real quick.
of course.
And I just wanted to move out where I was because I felt like I was a burden to them. On my own, I was just like, I'm just going to do anything at that particular moment. Wherever I'm going to get an opportunity for me to be in school, I'm going to go.
Right.
So I applied some university somewhere there near Kwame Nkrumah. And then I was accepted. She sent me some money via Western Union. Big man. That's when I went. Straight that same day she sent the money. I traveled to Kabwe. And then, yeah, I started staying at the boarding house. I started knowing myself more. And then I started adapting to the environment. I just started, kumona life, you know, if I want to wake up, how people flex, you know, how people with money are, how students with money are, and then there is me now, you know. There is me now. So I was just trying to socialize and just get to know the world at that particular moment. Even the school wasn't really into me, you know. So I stayed at that school for 3 months without doing anything. No studying, but I would go for class. You know, I would write notes, but the school wasn't into me. And then what the major thing that was really
No, maybe we say
my
you
mind-
went into school.
the major thing that was really in my mind is my siblings as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So now, from that money that I used to get, I told the guys, the siblings, that when I find the house, I'll be sending money. Then I used to get like 1,500 way back. That time, 2018. Yeah.
Wait, from the American lady herself?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the allowance that I used to get. So from that 1,500, I would send 1,000 to the guys here. So 500 they would pay rent, 500 for meals, 500 I use for meals at school. Life goes on. So now I discovered myself after staying there for 6 months. I was like, no, I can't be a teacher, you know. I can't do teaching. Teaching is not really into me.
This guy.
I left Kabwe, came back to Lusaka, the same place where I used to stay. I was like, I think I can't manage to do teaching. And then I don't see myself living in Kabwe. I don't see myself doing my life in Kabwe. My life is in Lusaka. So I came back, no, you can't do that. I think they became a little bit frustrated.
Right.
Yeah, because you had an opportunity to go back to school, but you're back here. We'll start keeping again. But I was just thinking through those lines, yeah? So, but anyway, we had a talk. I had a talk with them. I communicated my thoughts and my feelings. So like, but is it the same person that is going to continue to help you to school? What if she hears about this? You know, that woman is really tough. I was like, if it was meant, if God really pushed that woman or put in her heart that woman to help me, she's definitely going to help, regardless of me trying to change the program. Anyway, cool. I communicated with the lady. Like, I think I don't see myself being a teacher. She got upset. You have wasted money in school. I've paid quite a lot of money to help you, but she was like, anyway, I don't know what you want to do. I'm going to give you a week. Talk to the Holy Spirit. Whatever the Holy Spirit is going to tell you, let me know. If you want to do business, I can give you some little money for business to start doing business.
Right.
Yeah. But if you want to go to school, I don't know. Let me also speak to God and hear what God is going to tell me. Now, I became afraid now. Like, this woman might not, she might pull out as a sponsorship now, you know, because I think I'm too much now. You know, I started blaming myself for those stuff. And then it became a little bit frustrated. I went back to the same mountain where I used to go and pray. I started praying from there.
And what did God say?
Well, I started applying again. I was like, let me just put my papers in place. In case she comes back, I should be ready for me to start school. So I applied, but my passion was to become an economist. So I applied. I found myself at Cavendish University. So they accepted me at Cavendish University, and then she didn't inbox me, but I inboxed her. They're like, I found this school. I want to go back to school. So like, anyway, cool. Send me your acceptance letter. I sent my acceptance. How much the school fees? I was paying 9,000.
Right.
Yeah, my school fees is 9,000 per semester. How much is the boarding fee? Like, I can find like a boarding house for 800 squad.
Yeah.
So like, anyway, cool. Right now I'm traveling to Australia, but let's see what God will say tonight. Like, anyway, cool. The following morning, she wired me that was like, how much? 25,000. I just found my 25,000 in the account that I had now. So like, I've sent you some money, I'm going to pay for school fees. And then we'll keep talking like that.
Please don't tell me you chewed that money.
No, I didn't.
Okay, cool. Because your mind changes a lot from this story.
So after receiving that money straight, I went to intern withdraw. Go at Cavendish, I paid. Finding a boarding house, I paid. And then I moved into school. So that's how life started. My siblings, yeah, life continues with them like that. I would pay, buying them food, buying them clothes. So I would use my allowance to pay for the house for them, getting them food and few stuff. And the time mom was dying, our last born was 1 year old, yeah, like really young, but she's doing good now, like really young.
What grade is she in now?
She's in grade 9, Grade 9?
And you're the one paying for all these school fees, I hope.
Yeah, no, not really, but we made a way. Yeah, God made a way. In short, yeah.
Okay.
God
This,
made a way.
this episode has taken a whole different direction from what I expected, man.
I know.
A whole different direction because, judging by your Facebook posts, I really thought we're just going to be talking about feminist issues, sex issues, relationship issues.
But
Yeah.
I think after hearing his background,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
It makes sense where he is today with his post on Facebook, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But another thing I've picked up from the conversation here is it sort of helped me understand my cousin a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
One of those relationships that you can't really explain, so you start calling somebody a cousin. I've got a relative. I can't quite remember how we're related, but this guy, almost same story as you.
Mm-hmm.
His mom from Congo. I don't know what happened to her and the husband, but she ends up living with us for a while, with her and the kids. What's up with Congo? And his sisters, I think, got married and stuff. And his one sister, she's living comfortably somewhere here in Lusaka. I don't know where. We lost communication at some point. But I stayed in touch with him. Well, let me take it back to before staying in touch with him.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents, he was a very little boy, about 4 or 5 years old, this cousin of mine. My parents put him in school, grade 1 and everything. At some point, some relatives, I think, came from Lusaka, or I can't remember where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
But they said, we're the closer relatives to him. So they picked him up, right? Started living with him. Would meet him once in a while and talk about hardships where he was living. And we're thinking the whole time, this boy was so comfortable in our home. Why would the relatives come and pick him up and start living with him in hardship? Well, they were closer to him by way of connection to his mom and whatever. They were related to his mom that closely. But eventually, this boy becomes a street kid. We lost track of him. Became a serious street kid, drugs and everything. And we lost track of him for a good 5, 6, 7 years. Then one day, we hear hooting at the gate. This is, I think we're now living in Kitwe, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. Hooting at the gate. We go to the gate. It's one of these UN Land Cruisers. There's a white lady driving, and there's a little boy in the back. And the one opened the gate. I'm like, okay, hi. And she says, please open the gate. And I open the gate, and they drive in. And when they open the back door of the Land Cruiser, this boy comes out. I'm like, dude. We hug and all, and my mom comes out. And at this point, he's supposed to be like in grade 6, grade 7.
Yeah.
He starts living with us. And we ask him, so how did you find us? And he says, so I was living in this orphanage, and when you get to a certain age, they start asking if you have relatives and whatever. So I mentioned I've got relatives in Kitwe, and I think I can find them. So that's how this white lady, almost like your story, this white lady comes with this same Land Cruiser from Lusaka. I think my dad was a bit of a famous man in Kitwe. They asked around, and everybody would, make an assumption of where they thought we lived until eventually they found us. Long story short, this boy starts growing on, living with us. First year, everything is okay. You can even see him catching up with school.
Yeah.
Like your story. Congolese boy as well. Grade 6, grade 7. He flops grade 7, and my parents tell him, you know what, you can repeat. He gets back into grade 7 again to repeat because he didn't do quite well. For him, unlike you, I think there was a very little focus when it came to school. So in repeating grade 7, we could see like his interest in school starts waning. Then we discover the boy doesn't go to school. When he leaves home, he goes to chill with friends in town, asking for money and things like that. Before we know it, he just disappeared.
Again.
Disappeared for so many years. But even before he disappeared, like you'd find him begging in town and whatever. So now that you share your story, I sort of get to understand why he would go back when he had all the comforts in our home. But you're sort of used to that lifestyle for so long. It becomes like an addiction, right? The smoking of what do you call it? Jenkem. Yeah. So we lost him again for so many years. And would only hear stories of people meeting him in town. Like those people who knew him from him living with us. They would meet him in Lusaka town center. And we're like, but this guy... Every kid is trying to leave the streets for some comforts, but
He's running out from the comfort to the street.
Yeah, and they would meet him in town and whatever, and we found him again, had a discussion with him, and he says, look, me school, it can't work. Just give me some money. So I think in 2017 or 18, I gave him some money. He started this beans business, didn't work out. He now works in Intercity. Yeah, I now meet him a lot. I now know where to find him. But what's the point again I was trying to raise from this? Others like you can see a future in things like education. Others, it's really just a decision that they make to just stay in the streets, right?
Yeah, it's a decision and addiction, I think. So, but yeah, it is what it is, regardless. But it is what it is. So I think that's a little bit background about me. So I've been through that. I've lived in the street. I really know how the street is.
Going to what you're famous for today. And the first post I picked up, which caught my attention, I'd really love to understand this more, especially for the nurses watching this. You said, I have tasted relationships, and I've tasted a relationship with the nurse, and I highly do not recommend this. What's up with nurses, bro?
If we're gonna go there, I don't want to mention names.
Yeah, no, you can leave the names out.
I don't want to mention names because anyway, I wouldn't say. I was in a relationship. Anyway, that was just like a fun post, but not really directing it to someone. But I think I was in a relationship with a nurse. Yeah, I was in a relationship with a nurse way back. I think that was my first. That was my first relationship. So.
But then when you make such a blanket statement, I have tasted relationships with nurses and I highly do not recommend it. It's basically you saying all nurses are not to be dated by anyone in this country. Yeah.
No, not really to be dated, but I just love having fun with nurses. You get. I think this is a profession that I respect.
Right.
Yeah, I respect their profession. You know, the fact that they sacrifice so much to save lives.
Yeah, but so then you've attacked nurses and doctors.
I just love having fun with them. I just love having fun with them. So it's one of those, like I was in a relationship with a nurse. Yeah, I was in a relationship with a nurse. The relationship was good. That was like my first relationship that I enjoyed, to say. And I wouldn't say she's a bad person. She was a good person, like really good person. We connected so much, like really connected. But things change. Relationship is a relationship. There's no master in a relationship. And there's no master in a relationship. A relationship can end at any time. Based on what the other person has found on the other side that they don't really find attractive in you. So, but I think that was the case in mine. So the girl that I was dating, how do I put it? We used to live together. We used to cohabit. But I never wanted to put this on media, but I'm just gonna say it, yeah.
Right.
Because I'm a different person from who I was. But we used to
You've repented.
I've repented.
Yeah, a born again guy now.
Yeah, I'm a born again Christian.
Right.
So, but we used to cohabit. So, but yeah, she used to live in my house, like for a year plus. She came to Osaka looking for jobs, and then we happened to meet. She was in love with what I do because I usually donate sanitary pads to girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just
Nice.
in schools, villages, and stuff. So the time she saw that on Facebook, she's like, "No, I love what you do, blah blah blah," and this stuff. Then we ended up being in a relationship. But she initially came to Osaka looking for a job. So yeah, and then
Wait, how did you break up again?
She was employed by the government, and then she was transferred back where she came from in Eastern Province. So then from there, she got back with
She started dating a doctor.
No, she started.
Okay.
I think she got back with the ex who is married. Yeah, she got back with the ex who is married. So now the person that called me was the wife of that man. So like Franklin, she texted. In fact, the time that she texted, I was just from my house in Eastern Province. I was on a bus coming back to Lusaka. So I received that message on the bus. So yeah, Franklin, on Messenger, the woman inbox, Franklin, where are you? I was like, I'm in Eastern Province right now. What are you doing there? I'm from seeing my girlfriend. Why from visiting your girlfriend? She was like, anyway, cool. There is something that I want to tell you. Like, what do you want to tell me? I thought it's just like one of these girls, that just come to your inbox, blah, 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 and stuff. So like, I want to discuss something with you. What is that you want to discuss with me? So like, can you just give me your number? I think it's better that we do a phone call.
And there you were thinking, I'm this handsome guy. Girls just want my number in my inbox now.
I was like, anyway, I'll give you, I brush it off. So, but she insisted, just give me your number. I want us to talk. Anyway, I gave her my number.
And she called.
She called.
Gwang, gwang, gwang.
Franklin, you know, I know you don't know me, but I know you through Facebook. I've been following you. I love your relationship with your girlfriend. No, I love. She was like, I love how you brag about your girlfriend.
Right.
I love how you brag about her. I love how you support her. I love how you post about the business and stuff. I was like, anyway, cool. Yeah, she's a good woman that I'm trying to grow with. That's like, yeah, but there's something that I want to tell you. Like, anyway, what is it? Would you believe if I tell you that my husband? This is exactly weird that she said. Would you believe if I tell you that my husband had been sleeping with your girlfriend? So I posed the video like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, what I mean is exactly what I'm telling you. Would you believe if I tell you that my husband had been sleeping with your girlfriend? As I'm talking to you right now, I'm at the hospital. I came to deliver, but my husband had been spending time at your girlfriend's house. Do you have proof of what you're talking about? So like, oh yes, I have the proof. I can send you their conversations, the time they meet up and stuff. She wired me the whole conversations. She wired me everything.
Snitch.
Yeah.
Snitch on who is the question again?
She wired me the conversation. I was like, whoa. You know, it was bad. But I was on the bus. You know, I went to visit my girlfriend. The time that we separated a few minutes ago, then I received that message. I was like, can you give me the number of your husband? And she was like, right now I can't give you, but try to talk to your girlfriend. They're like, no, I can't talk to my girlfriend. But I tried to call my girlfriend. My girlfriend's phone was off. Just after departing, it was off. I called her best friend because I had the best friend's number. They live in the same area.
Hey.
I called the best friend. Are you with her? The best friend lied. No, the best friend refused. Like, I'm not with her. Me, I'm at home. I'm sleeping. I was actually cooking for the visitors. We had visitors at home. I was like, anyway, cool. I called the girl. The girl's phone wasn't going through. Like for an hour or so. So then, after an hour, she picked up. So like, I'm at my best friend's place. Like, no. And from talking to your best friend like a few minutes ago, she said you're not there. Then she had to cut the call. And call
the best friend.
The best friend.
Why did you?
It was crazy. So and then after a few minutes, I called the best friend. The best friend was like, she's here. She just came. Like, okay, give her the phone. No, she's gone to the bathroom. They give her the phone and speak to her. No, she's gone to the bathroom. She cut the call.
Amateurs.
And then, so that was the end of the conversation. So, the wife, that same man, she wired me the number. So I called the husband. Big man, no, I've heard the story like this, blah, 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 and stuff. Is it true? So like, no, she must just be making up stories, Ishan. I like, but how come she's making up stories with, I've got all the proof. She has wired me all the proof in my phone right now. So the dude was like, no, don't leave that girl. Me telling him now not to leave the girlfriend. Don't leave the girlfriend. If you leave that girl, you're going to regret. I was like, how am I going to regret if we've been chewing the girl?
I've not used her that much. You regret.
Like, what do you mean I'm going to regret? But if you've been eating, you've been eating all the time that she came. You've been chewing the girl. How am I going to regret if I walk out of the relationship? The dude was like, I'll call you. Let me just get back home. I'll call you. We'll talk. Like, I didn't call for us to start arguing. Moreover, we are men,
Yeah.
For me, I'm not into the stuff of we start fighting over girls, ish and shan. Sometimes girls change. I didn't say she's a bad person. She's been a good person to me. And I wouldn't paint her black. She's got her own reasons why she did whatever that she did. And she got her own reasons why she was choose to sleep with you. Maybe there's something that she was lacking that I wasn't giving. Maybe I was like a pupil by then without,
Gob, you say?
You used to give her money.
I used to keep her in my house.
Did you used to give her money?
The question is, because I'm now starting to feel this is why you're such an advocate of girlfriend allowance. Because probably this husband guy was giving her, in addition to the sex, money which you were not. No, he was giving her. Let's not deny that fact. He was giving her.
I wouldn't know. I think the time
or maybe he was even giving her even better than you were.
But Did you used to give a girlfriend allowance?
This is a person that I used to keep in my house.
Were you giving a girlfriend allowance?
Of course, I would give. And I'd not joke by then. You get.
Oh, but so it wasn't regular. It was as and
Of
when.
course, I was in school. I was in my fourth year.
Eesh, this guy.
Exactly.
Wait, so
Yeah.
where she was staying with you was actually a boarding house?
No. I used to rent the house.
A full house.
Yes. I used to rent the house in
Those.
Anyway, that was the situation. So I called the dude. Like, I know.
What if you leave her, you regret?
Yeah. I was like, you leave dude, you've been chewing this girl and stuff. So I was like, anyway, you don't really need to do it for me. But look, the person that called me is your wife. You understand, is your wife. So if you can't feel it for me, feel it for your kids. Moreover, your wife is in the hospital. She just delivered yesterday with a baby. And then you're out there sleeping around again. This is not for me, but it's for your kids. You understand? It's for your kids and the wife at home. That girl, I don't know, whatever that she has done to me, she might do it to you as well. You understand? So the dudes were like, no, man, I know. And then we stopped talking. I cut the call. And then I called my ex. She refused. No, Shanshan, that guy's been following me, blah, 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 and stuff. Like, no. I was told everything and stuff. Yeah, she started, how women have done to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, as time goes by, we just cut communication. We cut communication.
Yeah, plus the distance came in. She was in Eastern Province, you in Lusaka, yeah.
The distance came, but I would visit. I would visit. That was a relationship. I was in for it.
It's just long distance relationships. If it's in Lusaka, you live in Ibexil, she lives in Kalundu. That's also a long distance relationship.
But
Lusaka.
Kalundu is nearby.
Okay, let's say, dude, Ibexil, Makeni. That's a long distance
No, but
relationship.
if you have someone, from Lusaka to Eastern
I'm just
Province.
speaking for Lusaka people.
But anyway, so that's how we ended that relation. But I wouldn't say even if she's going to hear about whatever that I'm talking about. But she's got her own reason why she did that.
Dude, you haven't mentioned her name, so it's all good. It
Yeah,
could be
but
any nurse out there that broke your heart. You know what I mean? It could be any nurse.
Yeah. So, but it was bad. I went through that trauma, and then it was the healing process is always expensive. Like I've always been emphasizing, that process is really, really
So
expensive.
did you cry for this one? She was your first girlfriend.
Of course, she was crying. I wouldn't say, but I didn't cry. But I was just feeling. But it's just one of those stuff like you've invested your time, your energy, your plans,
And your little money then.
and my small money that I used to make. You pumped into that person, and then
A very subjective term, little money. Because to you, that's all you had at that point.
of
So
course.
you were giving your everything
I was
to
giving
this
my
girl.
everything.
Yeah.
I was giving my everything.
Well, she was. I think the couple of people call it double tobela. She was eating from both of you guys. Because I mean, the other guy was obviously giving her money as well.
Yeah, it could because anyway, he had a job, he had the family and stuff. So it's definitely.
Is this why recently you posted, everyone looks innocent, but they are selling privately? Men are in pressure. May we not marry rubbish?
No, those are. I think I'm not. So everything that I do now,
Right.
Everything that I post on my socials, is not really relating to my past experience, my past relationship.
Okay, so where does
experience.
this statement come from? Everyone looks innocent, but they are selling privately.
But you know how Lusaka is. You know how Lusaka.
No, I don't know
is.
how Lusaka is.
You do.
I'm
That's
very
the
new
thing,
in Lusaka, bro.
You do.
Tell me about
you
it.
know how Lusaka. You know how Lusaka. How crazy Lusaka is, especially at this moment where we are. I think I'm into the corporate space now. I'm into the space where I relate with more women, so I get to see a lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff. I think I'm a guy that a lot of women look up to. Okay, because of like I was sharing from my past experience about my mom went through, and then I became this dude that I don't want to see a woman going through issues. I don't want to see any woman getting abused. It hurt me so much. If I see a woman going through abuse, if I see a woman coming to my inbox to say, my boyfriend beat me, my husband is abusing me, this and this.
So women actually flock to your inbox to share these stories, yeah?
Of course they do.
They really believe in you, eh?
They do. They do. So I don't like women going through issues. I just don't like to see women suffering. So that is why I think at this moment I just offered myself, so I'm gonna be helping women. So that is where the thing of sanitary pads came in, yeah, because those are stuff that I never see my sisters getting.
But when you say women look up to you, how do you think women feel when you put up posts like when women reach 30, they begin to expire. They run out of time, their body starts giving them signs, their beauty fades, and they lose hope. And this is a stage where a woman is willing to settle down with any man, so long he's called a man, it's okay. Women have a little time to shine. It's not important to keep a woman in a dating process for a long period of time because she doesn't have much time to be beautiful and be that flower. Date her for a few months and marry her quickly. Mm-hmm. Men blossom when they reach 30, and above that, that's when they become hot cake. But women by 35, nobody wants to marry you because you're approaching your menopause.
That's the reality of life. That's the reality, and it's the truth. You know, if you look at the life of women, so men and women were built different, yeah? We're built different. So women are born with value, so they have to protect it. Yeah. So men, we are born with no value and we have to build it. You get? So women lose more value when they are growing. Men gain more value when they are growing. You get? Mm-hmm. I don't forget the point.
No, I'm getting the point.
So women loses value when they are growing. Men gain more value when we are growing. You understand? Because for women, like that post that I put up to say, because women have got little time to shine.
That's between the ages of what? You said 18 to 28?
18, yeah, from 18 to 20, let me say to 25. A woman is a hot cake from there. Like
so 28 to 29 is a stretch.
It's
close to expiration date is what like you call it, yeah.
Yeah, it is. So
best before.
they have their time to shine, like from 18 to 25 there. So that is when women, they're supposed to make their best decisions of life because they've got little time to shine. Once a woman starts approaching 30, 35, you know, even yourself, you can't really be with a woman that is 35 and above unless she's got some monies more than you.
I can be with Halle Berry any day. I'm sorry, babe. If my wife is watching this, I'm so sorry. But I can be with Halle Berry any day.
You see? So,
no, my point there being, I think it's... While there may be some truth in what you're saying, I also feel, well, as with every rule, there's an exception. There are women who also start looking better in those ages that you're saying they're expiring because they're taking better care of themselves. Yeah, better diet, more exercise, more water intake, more
so they're looking good.
Prayers or whatever helps them look younger. Like in the case of Halle Berry, men, women in Hollywood.
They're looking good. The looking good that I'm talking about is when it comes to a man, you understand? When it comes to a man settling down with a woman. You get? Because
so we're focusing on the marriage age.
Exactly. You know, exactly. Yeah. So that is where my focus is. That a man wouldn't want to settle down with someone that they are nearly hitting their menopause, you understand? Because we're looking at...
Yeah, because I mean, instinctively, you're also thinking of seeds, children.
Exactly. We're thinking about
instinctively,
children. Yeah, we're thinking about children and stuff, you know? So that is where I'm driving my focus and my point. That women, they only have that time to live. They only have that time to shine. Because the way God made women, He made them like flowers. They've got a little time to shine. And then, at a certain time, they shrink, you know. They shrink, they stop looking attractive. All these issues of menopause come in. Issues of them expiring, like I mentioned, comes in and stuff, okay? So, me driving up that point is not really necessarily to hit the women, but it's also one of the ways that I'm encouraging them, because I'm looking at the generation where women play a lot, especially young girls. They really waste their 20s, you understand? So they'll be drinking, partying, sleeping around with big boys for money and stuff. And then they get to realize they are worthy when they're approaching 30s, you know, when they're expiring now, when their time to shine, when their sweetness is finishing now. That's when they come in with the idea of, let me settle down, you know. Let me settle down. Let me find a man. Let me do this. While they wasted their 20s. So in their 20s, women are really attractive. You know, they become a center of attraction. Any man wants them. So that is why I always advise women to say, The moment you see a lot of men coming to you, that is a pickup point. You're at the peak. So if you're not really careful at the peak, you can end up you can lose it. It's like you can get sick, or you can end up having kids, with different women, with different men at the end of the day, and that will be for your advantage when time comes for you to settle down. Is finally what arrived. So it's very important that women should realize their potential in their 20s. Okay, because every woman is destined to at least to get married at a certain point. Okay, it's in them, that is how God created them, because they are the source of multiplication, and if they are refusing to get married, won't have multiplication. You understand? So in their 20s, that is the only time they have to realize to say, in as much as I've got all this stuff that I need to achieve, but I also need to realize my marital life, marital status. Like I can only say it when I'm in my 20s, because that is where I'm having a lot of congestion. I'm having a lot of potential people. These days, women, sometimes they reject potential guys, you understand? Reject potential guys. They just want to play around. Just want to play around. And then they realize they're with. My 30s, 40s, everybody is a number, but I want to settle down. Now I'm looking for a man. Hey, God. Hey, this and this. Hey, this. So all those issues come, they come in. You understand? And that is what has been happening a lot of, especially nowadays. Me who's in that space. And I understand.
How old are you again?
What?
How old are you again?
I'm 27.
27?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm 27. So all those issues are centered around that point. That I'm not trying to attack women. I love women. Not really loving in that sense. But I love women in a good way. I love protecting women. I love speaking good about women. Yeah, I love to see women thriving, women doing good.
Are you dating though?
No. I'm not in any relationship. I'm a retired dating general. So yeah, so I'm not seeing anyone at the moment. And I think I've been single for 5 years now, since I broke up with that girl.
I loved the post you put up a few days ago, and you're saying another reason why I'm still single is because I dress like a responsible parent. My suit and neckties always. Now that we have this gentleman in the studio standing right there, I'll not mention his name to protect his image. You posted with a placard saying every girl deserves girlfriend allowance, maintenance allowance, and meal allowance, regardless of the economy. To me, it sounds as if you're encouraging transactional relationships. It's almost as if you're telling a girl not to be in a relationship where she's not getting girl allowance, or give something she's not getting girl allowance. It's almost like you're encouraging transactions in relationships with this.
I think I was waiting for that point. I was waiting for us to
This
talk
guy
about.
called you a goat.
Cheers, big man.
No, a goat in a bad way. Not
No, in a good way.
like, why would you encourage men to give girls girlfriend allowance?
Why?
In a good way. Okay, so my point there is, now I've been talking about give women money, give women. Sometimes I joke, but sometimes I'm serious. Sometimes
Okay, let's dwell on the when sometimes you're serious spot.
I'm serious because I believe number one thing that God put in us as men is number one is to provide us. Okay, so I need to provide regardless of if I'm gonna decide today that I need to have a woman in my space. Okay, meaning I need to be ready as a man. Regardless whether I'm a boyfriend, either I'm, how do you call them, sneak link, whatever that is, or a husband, okay?
Right.
I've got that provision of me coming in as a provider. So if I'm going to have a woman in my life, I need to know that this woman that I'm bringing in my life, she's coming with her own expenses. And me as a guy, I need to see to it that I meet those part of her expenses. I might not meet everything,
right?
But at least I should deposit in something in that woman. What's the point of having a man in what's the point of a woman having a man in her life who's not doing anything?
Well, some may argue saying those, and I know it always brings in the issue of you're enjoying. I've seen arguments even on your post.
Yeah,
some men saying, why give a girl girlfriend allowance? Those are things that only a wife should enjoy. And then already somebody quickly come and say, but you're having sex with this girl, and that's a privilege only a husband should enjoy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But the girlfriend allowance part, you're putting pressure on young boys, bro.
No, it's not pressure.
You see, this is how now girls like your ex-girlfriend, the nurse, ends up with that married man Because it's got money to give her a girlfriend allowance
It's a
when you as a
decision.
boyfriend couldn't afford it.
That's what happened in area, but it's just but it's just if I think if it's all comes to decisions. It all comes to how women make decisions. It's not every woman that is after a man because of their monies and stuff, but those are just basic things, that are that's supposed to be done in a woman in a relationship. If like I was saying earlier on, if you have a woman in your space, make sure that at least you meet one of her expenses. Could be hair. I'm talking for now, babe. This month I'm paying for your hair. Okay, it makes them feel protected. You understand? It makes them feel like I'm in a relationship with someone that really cares for me. So love and care to women is giving. You understand? And that is our part. Being handsome is not just being handsome on the face. Being handsome is giving. You understand? Handsome. You get it?
Nah, fam.
So you get. So if you're just going to be described as you're handsome, then you don't give. Then you're not handsome as a man.
The guys are thinking I give some.
Yeah, you have to hand some. So if a girl gonna call you a handsome, meaning you have to be handing some to her.
Yeah, but
You
I'm thinking, some boys are thinking, yeah, but I give her some.
What is some that you're talking about?
Guy.
No, a woman.
You know what some we're talking about.
It shouldn't be always about sex. Even in those relationships, of course, people have sex and stuff. But when it comes to a woman,
They're not encouraging that, by the way.
we are not. We are not. But when it comes to a woman, you know that I've got a woman in my space. You really need to provide as a man, not really to break yourself, to break your finances, to break whatever that you're building, but part of our expenses. At least once in a month. Oh, babe, I'm gonna pay for your hair. I'm gonna take you to the salon. Or this month. I think your groceries are gonna be on my list. Yeah, or maybe I'm gonna spend 1,000. Maybe I'm gonna just let a woman feel like I've got a man. When you do that, it tells her that okay, this guy, even if we get married today, he's going to try his level best to take care of me because we're supposed to take care of women.
So, what about boys who are in the position that you were in? A student, all you have in your life is a little bit of pocket money, or in cases where the girl is in a more privileged position, should the boy still put on a girlfriend allowance? What happens in those situations?
It's to go for your level. Women are in levels.
Go for your level.
Yeah. Women.
But if that's the chick I want, she's I want chicken. This is what I want. She has the qualities I look for in a woman.
Women are in levels, so we shouldn't, especially us guys. I know my financial status. You understand? In as much as I want that high class chick, I need to measure myself before I approach that high class chick. I need to look at her hair. I need to look at the clothes she likes. I need to look at the kind of shoes. I need to look at the places where she goes. You get, because there is no way somebody. Of course, women bend when they really love you. There is no way someone that always eat from the very very expensive restaurant you get. Then me, I eat from Matebet all the time. Then. But at a certain point, of course, women can bend, but I need to match our levels. So women,
basically what you're saying is guys should aim low when it comes to getting into a relationship.
Not really aim low, but go for your class. Go for what you can afford. You really go for a woman that you can afford. So sometimes we complain, and sometimes we blame women for things that are unnecessary. You understand? No, she's demanding much. But I'm failing to understand that. No, I'm just failing to match her level at the end of the day. Because women love stuff. And when a woman loves stuff, it's very difficult for them to bend. They just want that particular thing. So I need to measure myself to say, if I'm going to go for that girl, how is my capacity? Of course, relationships it's not all about money, you get. But I need to meet a standard at a certain point for me to keep her in my space. Yeah. Okay. You get. So all those stuff are they are necessary to do to a woman. Give her some money, at least once in a while. Give her some money. Give her some maintenance allowance. Technician, shanshan. They maintain the girl. It feels good if a girl is looking nice. Then that nicest of voice coming from your pocket. It feels good. Not where, but the girl is looking nice, but you know that you've never even spent a coin for to beautify herself, for her to look nice. She's in heels, she's in makeup, she's looking good, but deep down your heart, you know that I never spent a coin on her. It feels bad, and for me, you can't even have that pride to say. And
that leaves room now for the sugar daddies to come in, right?
No. Like I mentioned earlier on, for women to date sugar daddies, it's their decision. And sometimes these women that date sugar daddies,
I'm saying
it's poverty. You understand? It's forward. Most of these guys, ladies that date sugar daddies, I think it's their background where they're coming from.
That's why those of us with daughters need to really work extra hard, man. I've got 3 daughters. And
You're in pressure.
Dude, bruv, when I tell you I work hard because I think of such situations like the one you're mentioning right now, yeah? Already bring up the issue that bugs me a lot. It's poverty in many cases that drives girls to do most of these things. Some of these things, not all of them. Some of these girls are finding themselves in situations because of pressure from poverty. Father is just a choice. They can come from comfortable families and still end up with a sugar daddy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Some of them is peer pressure.
Yeah.
Some of them is peer pressure. And some of these women that end up sleeping with sugar daddies, dating sugar daddies, they're just trying to match up the energy of their friends. So my friend has that. So I also need to have that.
Then again, you've also called this rape. You said sugar daddies dating our girlfriends in universities. That's also rape. Justice for boyfriends. Why would you call it rape when there's... First of all, somebody above the age of 18 in university. Mm-hmm. Secondly, there's consent. Mm-hmm. Why would you call it rape?
No, I think that one I was just passing a joke. It wasn't really serious.
This guy.
I was just passing a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why would a woman issue your post? So I'm just going to some of your posts.
Okay.
So why would a woman accept to have sex with her husband's friend? Her husband's friend. Women cheat. That's a spelling. Okay, sorry to the brother. Was this from the news or something? This issue?
Yeah, that's what it's trending. So just thought of adding up something to it.
So why would a woman... Some of the posts you make as well, copper belt is peaceful and not toxic. I don't even wish to come back to this subject. You really think copper belt is peaceful?
It is.
Serious?
Yeah.
What's peaceful about it? What did you notice?
I think the environment is just different from Lusaka. Mu Lusaka ngawaingira mu Lusaka environment irachinja bakamba. Kumpa pe ubuchendo ku. Ama pressure ku. Toxicity ku. Lusaka is too much.
And also you talk about peer pressures asking your man to buy you a teddy bear when you fully know that you don't have food. Or it's also on Valentine's Day. See your life, now Valentine's is over. Yeah, come think of it, eh? You've got other pressures that need to be sorted out, but because your friends are posting teddy bears and chocolates and roses, you want that instead of sorting out the pressure that you have. Yeah, that's...
Comparison is a thief of joy in a relationship.
Preach.
Yeah.
Preach.
Yeah, just that point is enough, I think. So, because, sometimes to women, they need to accept their man's situations. You need to understand, like, anyway, right now, of course, my man loves me, but he doesn't have. But he's working hard toward the stuff that he wants. And if you win, we win. You get it? But some ladies don't think in those lines. What they want is like first stuff, first things, and then they end up sucking these boys that are really working hard for their small monies to develop themselves. And then to us also, guys, we always think if I'm not doing this for my girlfriend, the society is going to point fingers on me, and then they're going to say stuff, or my girlfriend is going to see me weak, she can go to another person and stuff. So it's okay. If you fail to provide and she decides to leave, it's fine. She's just taken that burden away from you. So which is good. Okay. Which is good. You don't really need to bend yourself for a girl to say. You don't really need to go much, because I've seen guys stacking their finances. The guy will be working every day just to look for money to give a girl, but he's forgetting that he's also got future that he needs to finance for himself. Yeah, which is bad at the end of the day. So it all comes back to women should understand their man's situations. You need to understand, okay, my man doesn't have that particular moment. I need to understand him. If he has, he'll give me, or he gives me when he's in a better position. But some don't really understand. They don't really understand. They just want to suck everything that the boy is working for, which is really bad. So women, they need to understand. If they don't really understand, their bodies are going to suffer, eh?
True story, man.
Their bodies will suffer.
Franklin, just before we leave, I've been noticing you posting a lot about you being in universities. What are you speaking about? Are you a motivation speaker? What's going on?
I'm into, like I mentioned, I'm into corporate space, so I'm a public speaker. I talk about transformation, transformative leadership. I talk about branding. I'm into branding. Yeah, I brand youngsters to find their purpose. I also talk to young people to find their purpose. So I've been organizing events, of course, on relationships, on branding, and different.
But how are you having seminars about relationships? You're not even in one, let alone married. How are you educating people about relationships?
Not every football coach was once
Nah,
a footballer.
what are you now, Mourinho?
Of course.
Yeah,
So I think I know much, not really much. I'm also a student. But this is the area that I've come to. I invested my knowledge much knowing about relationship. Remember where I'm coming from?
yeah, but I really feel when it comes to the issue of relationships, I'd rather listen to someone who's been in relationships, been through or is in a marriage for so many years. I'd rather listen to that person because I think they know firsthand, what I could go through or I am going through. You know what I mean? It's like swimming. I don't think you can learn about swimming through just reading about it. Because you may read from a book about swimming for 3 years, yes. You get a degree in swimming. And then the day we throw you into a pool, it's a different ball game. You know what I mean? So I really wouldn't listen to you about relationships, bro. I'm just saying.
No, but it's cool. You also have a choice. You have a choice either to listen to me or not. But I've helped a lot of people, including married ones, of course. Yeah, I have. I've heard.
And their marriages worked.
Of course, they
Better after.
Of course.
Wait, like what kind of advice would you give a married person? Like,
it's depending on the pressure that you're experiencing.
okay, like the ones that you sorted out. What pressure did they?
No, I wouldn't want to bring it.
You're not mentioning their names.
No, regardless.
You're not
If
mentioning
I
their names.
mention the situation,
Okay, give it like it's a hypothetical.
No. Yeah, but I get to hear different issues. People come to me for different issues. When it comes to relationships, just that the relationship part, I'm not talking much about it now because I'm trying to build this certain brand, of a corporate brand. You understand? But way back that I used to march into that field, I would handle married people.
I really
In fact,
feel
right now I'm having a session with one. Yeah, I'm having a session with one couple right now. So I had a session with them.
I swear I would zone out. The moment you just tell me I'm not married, I would zone out.
It's cool. It's cool, but before you zone out, you need to listen to what I'm going to tell you first.
Yeah, because in my mind the whole time I'll be thinking, but this guy's not speaking from experience. I would love someone who has been through what they're talking
Not all the
about.
coaches have been footballers.
It's different. Marriage is a different ball game.
I know it is.
Everyone before they get married, I think, envisions it a certain way.
But
and then when you get in, it's something totally different. I'm a married guy. So I've been on both ends of this pole that we're talking about here. You know what I mean?
But we're gifted
on this both ends of the spectrum.
We're gifted into different areas. You get. Everybody's got their own gift. It could be being a relationship coach is my gift that God gave me at the end of the day. So I can be better in that minus me being in a relationship or being married. So I can also talk about that because I've got some knowledge that I know about it.
Franklin, thanks a lot for coming through, bro. Your story, I think, especially from Congo to Zambia to the streets of Zambia, is one that I know a lot of people that draw inspiration from such things are really going to draw inspiration from that story because for me, it's about being relentless. It's about resilience. Mm-hmm. You went through disease. You went through extreme poverty. And look at you today. I meet you in one of the most flourishing neighborhoods in Lusaka. We met last week, Wednesday, when we were planning for this episode. And yours is a success story, I think, that's worth putting in a book or a movie one day. I think you should.
It's all about God. It's all about God and people that have been on my side. That's I would love to thank if this is going to air and if you're going to edit this. Mm-hmm. Just want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Isichone. So these are guys that really took me in where the time that I had no home. So they took me as their own son. Even right now, they take care of me as their own son. They check up on me. But it's just a dude they met way back in 2017. But they had that courage to say, anyway, this guy is going to be someone else. It's going to be someone good at a certain point in life because life doesn't end there at the end of the day. So those are people that I've come to really appreciate in my life a lot because if it wasn't for them, if it wasn't for Mr. and Mrs. Shone, I'd have been, I don't know where I would have been even up to now. But yeah, they had enough courage to allow me in their house.
They invited you for one night and you stayed for years. So you really need to thank those people, bro.
I owe them a lot. I think even on Valentine's I took them out for a meal and it was good.
Look at you.
It was really good. So I was just like, I'm going to take them for a meal.
From street kid to taking people out on Valentine's nights, man. That's a rags to riches story if I ever heard one.
So yeah, it has been a good experience. So we're coming from those streets and all we can say is, one thing that I don't leave out is God. Because my whole life has been designed by God. So no matter what I go through, no matter what I experience, I know that there is somebody. There's a big man up
That's
there.
deep, man.
The
That's
big man
really
is
deep.
up there. Regardless of whatever that we're going through, he'll come through for me.
And I thank your grandfather for introducing you to God. Thanks for coming through, Franklin.
All right, big man. Thank you so much.
Till the next episode, remember to click on the subscribe button. We're almost at 100,000. Support us by clicking on that. You don't know what that does to sponsors when you look at the number of subscribers that we have. And if we continue growing, we have even bigger guests and more interesting guests like Coach Franklin today. And also support the people that support us. Please enjoy a strawberry lime crisp from Brothers Mocktails. No, non-alcoholic mocktail.
Oh, yeah.
It's a mocktail, non-alcoholic.
Cheers.
Support people that support us. So when you see these drinks in the supermarket, please feel free to grab one from the shelf. In the next episode, have a lovely day.